This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the Communication Committee. It is February 27th, 2025, 7 p.m. We are in the Select Board room and online. And this is the official call to order. So first item up, let's approve the minutes of 2/20/2025.
I sent an amended copy of the minutes out with, I'll say it like versus, corrections or thoughts. And on Tuesday late, I got some thoughts from Ed on some suggested language also, but I thought that had passed our deadline for disseminating information, so I thought I'd bring it up here in the meeting.
Okay.
So in town hall notifications, town meeting notifications, I put in, what did I put in? Well, where does it go? Anyway, I put in the annual town meeting where, as opposed to what you had put there, I put your agenda
Town hall.
Annual town meeting.
Yeah.
Is what you were talking about, I think. But Ed's suggested language is town hall notifications, anyway, annual town meeting information is what he added in also. And his suggested language is, it has been proposed that additional language be included in the articles for the town warrant that are published to help provide the citizens with more information in advance versus getting this information verbally in writing at the town meeting. This could include information such as how the committee voted on each article, select board, finance, CPC, etc., the financial impact of the article, and what a yes or no vote means. And we would have to change that to Mr. Comeau. We'll be drafting a statement for the Communications Committee outlining what we would suggest be included in this year's town meeting warrant. And so that would be an amendment to the existing minutes that you have already. If there's any other discussion on the minutes. So with Ed's amendment, I propose that we accept the minutes.
Second. Actually, wasn't here.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Emily?
Well, all those in favor?
Okay.
Say aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we done the vote.
Aye.
No. And Emily, that's an aye.
Mhm.
Once again, we'll have to call out your name because you're online, so hope you don't mind. Okay, moving right along, committee charge update. I have submitted the charge as we approved it last week to Steve's office. I wasn't sure of what the proper process was now that we have a town manager. Like, a couple rules have changed of maybe he can approve things or not. Hey.
Hello. Okay.
Anyway, I sent it to him. He requested a red line version of it as well. I produced the red line version to him. He informed me that it would make it to the, I believe it was March 17th select board meeting. So we will just have to, I don't think we necessarily have to, yeah, it is the 17th. We don't necessarily have to attend. I might just be present to answer any questions that they have. But we don't have to do a.
Or should be at home and online. That's easier for you.
Yeah, whatever ends up happening. But make sure that I'm available for that. And yeah, I don't expect any issues, and it didn't sound like he expected any issues either. So we'll just have to wait. And until then, Kate and Esther are not ex officios yet. They're just with us. They're just guests. Yes. Which neither of them are here today, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Any other questions or anything about that? Just to be sure. There is no update from the communication manager because she is not here today. There is no update from the BCTV manager because she is not here today either. So let's jump right into the communication plan.
Okay. So we are, I hope, getting close to the end of this. And I think we are. But as I went through the detail and the edits that you sent, a number of questions occurred to me, and I want to share them with you to get your feedback on this. There are two sections that I want to talk about this evening. First is communication principles, and then the other one is goals and objectives. So my first question is a general one with respect to the principles. Do these apply to our committee, or do these apply to all municipal committees? Who is bound by this plan?
My assumption was it was to the town, right? And I don't have a copy in front of me. You said you're bringing updated versions, so I was hoping on that. Sorry. Communication principles. Yeah, so my understanding was that this was more of a blanket statement of principles, that like communication for committees, out like ours and others in the town.
Okay, so in that case, then would not only the select board, but would other department heads and chairs need to weigh in on this because they would be bound by these principles?
I would say so. Yeah, this like other documents we should send around and get a feel for it before it's fully adapted in.
All right. Okay.
Which I think would be the next step is once we feel good about this, we send it to like Steve and say, hey, can you have different department heads take a look at it?
Mhm. All right.
But not committees?
Perhaps committees. Yeah, I'd send it to.
Choose,
I'd say let him choose. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I figured it would go. Is that we would, before we even say this is official for the board, we'd say we want to have this looked at and reviewed.
Okay, because that has implications for the next section that I'm going to talk about. So under community engagement, we start off each section here saying we will. And I'm not sure that we can guarantee that we will. So that's a question. We could say we will try, or we will endeavor to, or something like that. But if we say we will, then I think everyone would have to agree. There would have to be some kind of explicit statement.
We aspire.
And that is another good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody is going to come down on anyone if principles are not followed to the T. That like, we will use multiple channels, communication channels to maximize community reach. Like, if one group is just really good at or that knows that their primary target is on Facebook or something like that, or through the Sentinel, then I don't think anybody's going to come down on them about it. But for not using multiple channels. But
could I sue you for not following your policy?
Well, this isn't a policy.
right.
No, that's true.
It's a communications plan. It's not like the social media policy.
No, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So good. We'll move on. So number
Yeah, I mean,
three.
does everybody else agree that like?
Yeah, I understand both sides. I think it wouldn't hurt maybe to just slightly tweak the language to say it's like these are aspirations to do these things, because some of the things you have here are very specific, like technical strategies that not everyone's going to deploy. So, and it might not be relevant, like you were saying, to every single group that communicates. So if you tweak the wording, I think that would help both,
I will
Okay.
do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next one, number three. So that originally said evaluation. And I changed that to continuous improvement. And the reason that I did was because it's more than evaluation. You can evaluate, but then you have to do something with your evaluation. So for me, the question is, are we committed to continuous improvement based on what we find when we evaluate? And I thought, sure. So
Yeah.
I changed that. Let's see. So next one is number 6, public meetings. And I think maybe we should think about the label there, because what we're really talking about is proper preparation, I think, for public meetings and department meetings and so forth. So with your approval, I'll change that to preparation. And
Are we talking, not the room and the equipment in the room, we're talking about the material to be presented, or what are we talking about?
No,
so,
I would say the equipment in the room too.
Well, that would be my thought, but I'm not sure. All right. It's my stage manager hat again.
no, it's a good point. So
That,
I'll include that.
but yeah, is that so often committees walk into a room and decide how they're going to set it up. It needs to be set up and tested before they ever enter the space.
Sure.
And I don't think we do that in this town. In fact, I know we
Oh,
don't.
we've learned that.
Yeah.
So we don't, but that is in fact in our plan, when we get to goals and objectives,
Okay,
that's stated clearly. So we can,
okay, never mind.
no, it's good. I have one more thing here, if I can read my writing. Languages. Okay, so with respect to technical support, one of the questions then is, will assist those needing help with communication technology software. What about this issue of those who don't speak English and need translation? Are we committing to that? Can we commit to it? Should we commit to it?
I don't think we can. I don't think we have the resources to support that.
I thought we had something in Civic Plus that.
Well, so our website does,
Okay,
right? Our website has a translator on it
but not everything is translated.
with like 100 languages there. So that's covered. I would potentially say, does YouTube have a translator? Because now that we're putting BCTV recordings on YouTube with with closed caption, that might have a translator on it. But I don't think we don't have American Sign Language at the town meeting, or something like that. We don't have additional resources for Spanish or anything else. No,
Okay.
and I don't know if we'd have I don't know if it's feasible in town.
Okay.
I
That's a
think
good
it's a great idea, but I just don't think we can do it,
Yeah, some towns have committed to it, and it's in their, it's in their communications plan, but I agree with both of you, we probably don't have the resources.
Yeah.
Is this plan for like the next 3 years or like?
Yeah,
Okay.
says it's a 3-year plan, so we'll see.
Okay, all right. So nice.
Okay, let's move on then to the goals and principles. I think that's page 11. Okay, page 12 on my copy. All right.
Yours starts on page 12? For
Ah.
goals?
Yes, I have the most recent copy
Okay.
that I sent out today.
I'm looking at it too, and it looks like it starts on page 10 for me. The copy you sent today? We're doing
It
goals.
does start on page 10,
Okay.
but I'm starting on page 12.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. I'm sure I believe what I just said.
Was it item number 7?
Okay. So at the top of page 12, it says objectives, and it says produce a comprehensive, cohesive 3-year communications strategy. And I'm wondering whether that is really planned, should be planned. If this is just a strategy, then the plan may not mean very much. So the question is, are we committing to a 3-year communications plan? Will we update that every year and so forth, and provide it as a plan to be reviewed by, Steve and the select board and so forth?
Okay.
Well, I wonder if it should be review, because if we have this, then the objective would be to review it again and again and build upon it.
Maintain a
Maintain.
comprehensive, cohesive, current 3-year communications plan.
Use.
Yeah.
Boy.
I think I'd like to maintain.
Let's see.
Okay, and then we'll change that to plan.
So strategy becomes plan.
Okay, then moving down to, this is going to be very quick, by the way. So moving down to number 7. So this is where I got confused about the input that I got from some people. So I don't have it stated correctly here, I know that, but one person said, I think it was Ed, but I'm not sure, that we should advocate for a full-time media relations person or position. And my view was that we don't need a full-time media relations person. But if you meant communications manager, and if you were combining those two, then we should simply add this but not say full-time. So I'm confused about what you were intending.
I did, I'm surprised I did, because my feeling on it is we shouldn't be pushing this in the plan. I mean, I think we should, I think it would be great to have one. And I think, I see that down the road. I'm surprised that I did say that, to tell you the truth, because I see if we put it in writing like this, it's going to create a furor out there that, we're cutting teachers. Yeah,
So,
Yes.
so I think his original question is that this document previously had a media relations role and not a communication manager position, right? And so that would be adding a new role as well as the communications manager. That was added in there. I asked that we change it to just leave it as communications manager and advocate for making it a full-time role.
Which I think is a good idea. And then the other question is, could we add media relations to the job description? Because I would imagine.
well, that's in her job description already.
Right.
It's already in there.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I think there's a bit of confusion around the wording, and that's why we changed it to communications manager. But the question did come up, and we debated this a little bit about whether it should be a full-time role or if we should include this at all, especially because of the school committee and costs and things like that. I think we should leave it in there because I give you 2 great reasons. I'm trying to remember them right now. So the first one is that this role is temporary, right? Kate's role is a contract. It's only so many months, and then we actually don't have funding for it post that. And the other one is that she has done so much with her part-time hours that making this a full-time role, but even with what she's done in her part-time hours, we can easily say that there's still things being left on the table because she has to triage every single day what responsibilities and what things get done and what have to be passed along to the next day. So moving our role to full-time will give her more availability to take care of things and just is going to help the town immensely. I mean, we've only seen many positive things from the residents and staff that Kate is taking care of things.
But other than speaking pro for this position, is there not much we can do, really? We don't have funding.
We don't, but it should be a plan for the town to.
Okay.
My opinion is we say it should be a full-time position, right? The town says permanent full-time position.
Yeah.
The town says best we can do is extend this another year contract part-time. We say great, but we're going to leave it in our 3-year plan,
Okay.
that this should be a full-time role. And that's just my thinking about it. Like, this is a role that she has shown is necessary. I mean, we knew it was necessary. She came in, started doing the role, and it's become more apparent that it's necessary. And honestly, if her contract ended tomorrow, there would be so many new programs that would just disappear.
Okay, how about we put the why in there as well, kind of say, I'm just spitballing here. We advocate for a full-time permanent position, communications manager, to help with government transparency and positioning the town to bring in new business and things like that. In other words, don't just say we want a full-time, but, reasons why. So it kind of gives the rationale rather than just, oh, Dan, they're just trying to get a full-time job,
Okay,
So,
is that all right with her? So I'll come up with language.
Yeah.
Sure.
That should be fine.
Okay, great. Next page. Okay. So it seems like the bullet at the top of the page, which reads reduce transaction costs by replacing paper with web-based, is very similar to number 12, which says reduce paperwork and streamline processes through the use of online forms and certifications. So reduce transaction costs by replacing paper with web-based. It sounds very much like 12, and 12 stays more helpful.
Mm.
So unless somebody feels strongly about it, I'm going to delete that bullet. Okay.
Yep.
Great. All right, let's see. Same as for 2. Okay.
One thing, on 9, where it says develop a comprehensive social media strategy, how about maintain?
Yeah.
Because we already have it. So.
Okay. All right, good.
So what are you suggesting? Losing all of it, or saying maintain, or?
Just replace the word develop with maintain. It's already been developed.
Yeah.
So in the middle of 9, we have a sentence that reads additional fast-growing channels should be developed, including Instagram, to reach other younger community cohorts. And that sounds fine. But then if you turn the page and go to 4.2, it says, as popular social media channels frequently used by town residents, to the towns regularly use social media to maximize municipal engagement. It's basically the same thing. So I should delete one or the other, I think.
I would suggest deleting anything that specifically mentions a social media channel, because that changes on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So you would just delete including Instagram, would that be correct? Okay.
On
Especially if this is going to be a 3-year.
9. A 9, yeah.
On 9, yes. Okay. Okay, and then on goal 3, at the bottom of page 13, we say hire, and this goes back to the conversation we just had. It says hire or appoint a full-time communications manager consistent with the newly developed job description. But we already said that. So we should choose one of the two.
This, that says completed, but that's,
well,
Yeah, it's not, because she's not full-time.
oh,
Right.
I see, gotcha.
And that was a mistake. I put that in, that's a mistake. So that should be deleted. Okay. Okay,
So what's the decision then?
I will use one of the two, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Moving on, we're almost done. Page 14, goal 5. So I must not have been thinking, because what I did there was under objectives, I just listed things, but there's no verb. So there can be no objective. So either I should put verbs in, or I should just list these things, 1 through 6. Was I clear about what I just said? There's no verb in any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just make it a list. And
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll just refer to it, make
Yeah.
a list, and.
I agree with that.
do it. Okay, and that's all I've got. I want to thank everybody here for your input, both tonight and for sending your edits to me in a timely fashion. And we're done.
What about the sections you took out that we said were great standalone documents?
Yes, I haven't done anything.
Okay.
Well, that's not,
But
that's
you
not
haven't,
true.
you haven't lost them, man.
But no, what I actually did was I took that entire section and simply pasted it into another document, but I haven't worked on it
That's
Okay.
Because it was such good information, I don't want to lose it.
yet. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Great job.
Well, thank you. We're done.
Good
you.
job.
Any questions, comments, or anything else on that one?
I'll just say that it's very helpful, the list you provided at the end with all the contact lists. Like, we'll definitely use that for the newsletter. So, thank you.
What is that?
Put his name back on it
Thank you both.
All right, let's move on. Town social media. Kate is not here to give her side of it. Emily, I know that you have been sort of working in. Don't worry if you haven't done anything yet. But is there any kind of update that you might be able to provide?
Yeah, so Kate and I met last weekend and I created the town Instagram account. I have literally only created it. I've not posted anything or really done too much to make the profile look good. But it's there. I'm an admin of the Facebook account and we are meeting with Kyle from the rec department this weekend so that I can help out with the rec's Facebook page and posting for them.
Excellent. Do you and Kate have like sort of a plan for the Instagram? Is it going to be sort of are you going to repeat the same sort of messaging that we have on Facebook, or are you looking for like a new, style or anything for that?
The current plan is that I'm going to use what she has on the planner for Facebook, like the schedule, and kind of post the same thing, but open to suggestions if that seems to not be working too well once we start that up.
Okay.
so Facebook now, maybe change down the road, is that what I'm hearing?
We'll keep Facebook, but we're also going to do Instagram and just copy the posts from Facebook to Instagram.
Thank you.
But if we find that that's not helpful because it's a new platform, so we might have new audiences, they'll maybe change the messaging a bit.
So that's what I did here.
And given that Instagram is such a visual medium, I assume you'd welcome photographs if we're around and about town, and any of us
Yeah.
see something and take a picture with their phone.
Any of us, the photographer.
All of us, because we're all around town with a phone in our hands.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's the whole thing about Instagram is that's what it's geared towards, So I would think that would be, if you stumble across something like an accident.
An accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Other questions or things? Cool. Moving right on. Town newsletter. How's that going?
Going well. We just sent out an email to Steve just to
I
update
can't
him.
hear you, Liz.
It's going well.
Thank you.
We just sent an email, or Allegra did, and have time to Steve to update him on everything that's going on with the naming and everything for the newsletter. But yeah.
Yeah, so Steve knows about the name. He actually did not respond directly about the name, but I think he's good with it because Kate had sent a follow-up with like a header design. And so he had responded about the header design, but it included the Carriagetown Chronicle in it. So he wasn't like, I think he likes the name, but
Nice.
I should confirm. But basically he also suggested Oh, and so we are in constant contact, or at least I am. Alyssa maybe isn't yet, but
Working on it.
we definitely have the account up and running. And so Steve suggested that maybe at the select board meeting that you mentioned, this one on the 17th, he might be able to get us on the agenda to present the design and the plan for the newsletter to the select board. So I told him if we can get on the agenda, that'd be great. I know I can make it.
I'm looking into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least one of us can be there. Maybe Kate can be there too. I'm not sure. I haven't asked her, but I can definitely go. So I think the plan is that maybe, assuming we have a communication committee meeting before that select board meeting, we would love to show you what we're going to present to the select board. At that meeting, we can get feedback from you before we present it to them. And we'll have some sort of near final working design. I think we can pretty quickly get it together now, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
we would be meeting on the 13th,
Perhaps,
Right
yeah.
before, that'd be-
and that's on the 17th, so.
Yeah, if we meet that Thursday, I'm not sure if it's changing or.
Right, yeah, we'll talk that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
I noticed in the article in the paper this week, it mentioned all the names that you guys had thrown out there, including some of the more humorous ones.
Oh, really? It was in the
Yes,
paper? I didn't
it
see it
was.
yet.
Haven't
Oh,
read
that's
that yet.
awesome.
And so Emily, have you noticed anything on social media about that? People commenting on the names or anything like that?
I personally haven't, but I don't usually look at the comments too much. It's lots to keep
Okay.
up with.
Neat.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering
Yeah, I wonder how they got the names.
from the stream. The article in the paper was written
Oh, okay.
from the stream.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she sat down and watched the meeting. So
Cool. Well, they were all good names, so I'm glad everybody knows them. Some of them were more humorous than others.
Yeah,
let me see a minute,
sure.
before you go to the next item.
Oh, town meeting. Yeah, thank you. All right, anything else with the newsletter?
We're good.
Okay, up next, the town hall / town meeting notifications. I realize I don't know why town hall is stuck in my head. That like, that's what we call it, but it's not what we call it. We call it the town meeting. Anyway, the notifications for that. You were going to write up something?
I haven't written up anything yet because I want to get more information on it. I got to talk to Terry because I want to find out. I mean, Steve gave us great information on how the warrant is all put together, the articles and everything like that. But what I'm really curious about is there anything at this, I'm figuring there must be something that dictates how town meeting is run, what the warrant articles have to be,
There is.
Yeah, so I want to find out what that is that outlines how this is all done, and I just haven't talked to Terry about that yet. But she's gonna be probably my last stop before I really put it together. Because I don't look at this being super in-depth, just informing people more than they might know now how the process is even done. Because until I met with Steve, I had no idea how it was done.
Right.
So.
So Ed, in addition to process, what about content? So if I saw this warrant and, which is typically a paragraph, the rest of it, and I wanted to know more about something, how would I go about it?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, and actually, I guess this would fall into this thing here, that statement that I sent around for everybody to take a look at.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I suppose if the warrant comes out of DBW, then you go to DBW for more information beyond what's in the warrant. I would assume they can only put so much in there without it turning into a dissertation.
Yes. Yes.
If it comes out of the preservation committee, community preservation committee, then you go to them for additional detail or something like that.
What does it mean to go to them? What do you mean by that?
Contact them. Ask them.
Contact whom?
Whoever is the chair of the CPC, whoever's head of DPW. Because these things, the warrant articles are put forward by someone, some department or
Yeah.
some committee,
Yes.
unless it's a citizen petition. That's a little different. But that, according to Steve, that's rare. So if DPW has a warrant article in there, they need $100,000 to buy a dump truck, let's say, for example. And you want to know, why are we buying a dump truck? Linda Leduc at DPW is who you call, All of the Community Preservation Act warrant articles have to be approved at town meeting. So if you wanted more detail on that, that'd be CPC, whoever the chair of CPC is. You know, tell me more about this warrant article, that sort of thing.
Okay, then I would suggest that we add that statement to your item.
They should have the contact information for
I
everyone.
mean, his article, or whatever he's doing. Is it an article or is it a?
It's gonna be a blog.
No. Is it? I thought we were writing a letter to Steve's office
Well, no, I'm also writing a blog,
about the process
Right.
of the, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
but we're also doing that statement that I sent around.
right,
The-
yes,
Last meeting, you said, let's do a statement that we can send to Steve.
right.
But I mean, in the blog, I can say, yeah, if you've got questions on a DPW related thing, go to DPW. Whether they would put that in the warrant itself, I don't know, or we can just put a boilerplate statement at the beginning. You know, go to the relevant committee or department for more detailed information on each warrant article.
Well, you said department head, is what you just said. Right, department head?
Department or department.
Yeah, well, you know, I was thinking of some of the warrants that caused, you know, interminable discussion over the last few years, especially one that was related to conservation and pilots. And this went on for, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour, and it could have gone on even further. And the reason for that is a lot of people didn't understand what they were reading. Right? And so I'm trying to figure out when these things are complex enough that people do need more information to make informed decisions, how do they get that? And especially, how would they get it before the warrant is published and before the meeting?
Okay, in theory, isn't Kate supposed to be putting out a voter's guide to the warrant?
No,
No, not happening?
that's why I changed that language. It's not a voter guide. That's not what we were talking about. What would be included in the warrant is a yes vote means this and a no vote means that.
That's right.
Okay,
It's in the
that's what
warrant.
would be, in it wasn't a voter guide.
Okay, the way she presented it, I thought it was. Pilot
I mean,
means
it-
move taxes.
and we're
I
not,
know that.
and we're not saying something as comprehensive, like when you get the state, there are questions on the state ballot, you get that booklet in advance,
Yeah,
and it's very detailed
Yeah,
explanation from
yeah.
both sides. We're not talking about that.
okay,
It's just-
I thought we were.
No, it's just a yes vote means this, a no vote means that. That's what, we don't have the resources to put something like that together. I think that'd be great, it'd be ideal, but who's gonna write that?
Yeah, I worry about this particular problem because I hear this all the time from people who go to the town meeting. They gave me a warrant, I had no idea what it meant, I didn't know how to vote, and so we don't get an informed public, and
that's-
think about that.
And that's what we're trying to do. I mean, the warrant is published in advance of the town meeting.
The warrant is, yes,
You can get that.
yeah,
One of the things we're really trying to change this time around is information you're given at the town meeting. You know, at the town meeting, they tell you, this is how the select board voted, this is how the finance committee voted, and this is how much money it's gonna cost. You get that verbally at the town meeting. What we wanna do is get that to everybody in advance
well, sure.
of the town meeting. So you don't have to sit there, okay, now I gotta figure this out, and how am I gonna vote on it?
Oh, no, I know that. But the question is, you know, some people want to know, well, why? Why are you recommending it? What is the background to this thing?
Are the warrants themselves posted
Yeah.
anywhere? They're online, right?
In advance of the
So
town
this
meeting.
document could have a link to the warrant itself, right?
Well, when you say this.
Well, so we're saying that we want them to provide something that is before the meeting that shows the yes, no, what a yes means,
That
what
would
a
be
no
part of the
means.
warrant.
That would be part of the warrant itself.
part of the
Okay,
warrant
so
itself.
that's all packed. Okay, so then that'd be fine because you'd have the warrant and you'd have that bit about who votes for it, what a yes means, what a no means, and then we could just direct people to those.
Right, each warrant article, right now, it's just the text, you know, DPW wants to buy a dump truck for whatever.
Yep.
And that's essentially all there is in the warrants right now. We want to expand it to say, DPW wants to buy a dump truck, it's gonna cost $100,000. Select board voted yes, finance committee voted yes, A yes vote will authorize the DPW to buy this. A no vote will not allow the DPW to buy this. That's kind of what we're shooting for in the warrant, the articles that you get in advance of the town meeting. And we can put the boilerplate at the top. If you need more detailed information, contact the relevant department or committee
Right,
for more
and I would,
information.
yeah, and we don't have that in the statement, but that would be one thing I would include is a contact information to learn more about that.
Do you want to
Likely from whoever submitted the warrant.
do you want to just put boilerplate at the very beginning of it? Or do you want it in each warrant article?
I'd say it should be like a boilerplate.
Okay.
That at either the beginning or the end of every one of these chunks of warrant text says to learn more, contact so-and-so, or, submitted by so-and-so, contact information here, whichever one seems to make more sense.
That's a start.
Okay, I'm gonna have to speak up for BCTV here again, because we do this. We bring in Ed, the chair of the select board, sit down, have him read the article. Peg reads the article, he explains the article and says what it means. And we run this multiple times after we tape it on BCTV. So this information has been going out there for 20 years. Once again, we got the information, but if the horse doesn't come to the well, there's not much we can do.
Well, see, that's just it. It's not working, apparently, because we go to town meeting, and like Mark said, this debate goes on forever, Whatever, now, I mean, the nice thing about putting it in the warrant itself is this is the article. This is it. Gee, they may watch BCTV or whatever, but this is what we're all voting on right here.
Well, the BCTV stuff is now, and I assume it was then, but it's saved somewhere for anybody to watch it anytime they want once they've been produced.
We save it for a year.
So
Right.
relevant meeting, yeah.
Right, but this comes out before the meeting, you post it online and say you can come and watch these anytime you want.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
why
I
does
mean,
the warrant also include a link to the BCTV thing if it's available? Well, I guess we don't necessarily know if they're together,
Right.
but I guess that doesn't work, but we should still, that should just be featured prominently on the town website
And social
and in
media.
social media.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple channels,
And
the same
it's
information,
newsletter.
multiple channels. Yeah, the newsletter, social media, BCTV, Warren,
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
get it all out in multiple channels, multiple
it's a
ways.
start.
I have to say that it frustrates me, but ever since I've become a Facebook human, I understand, here it is, right here, okay? You got the information. And that's the way people react these days. You have to take it right to them. Yeah.
I mean, people are
You
busy.
can't make them look for it. They don't.
Well, that's just, and we're seeing this of late, that the engagement is going off the charts.
Yeah.
We're seeing it skyrocket,
You're
Which is
putting it
great.
someplace where people are.
which is
That's
great,
simple.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I agree with, the more we can put in the warrant, the more avenues we can get the information out. That's all plus.
All to the good.
So I'll add that statement, maybe that's a segue to that, the statement that I sent around to everybody. Let's see if I can find it.
Just had it. Draft statement about.
There we go.
Chris, could I just ask a newsletter question for just a moment? Just,
Nobody minds? Sure.
how often will this be produced?
The idea is once a month, and once a month.
Is that enough?
Well, I don't think we'd ever thought about more frequent than that. I think originally Steve actually had thought it might be quarterly, and we were saying that we think there's enough going on that once a month, keep in regular contact. Not every department or every committee is gonna have something to say every month, but enough things happen every month in town.
Well, let me ask the question a slightly different way.
Yeah.
So the information could be, by the time I read it, the information could be 29 days old, 30 days old. If you put it in there on the first of the month, right, and I don't read it till the end. So is that really useful?
Well, I think we're trying to think of like what what's gonna go in it. So the idea is if we release it, if we email it at the beginning of the month, we would be future looking with things coming up that month. And so they wouldn't be things that were past. You might not open your email for 30 days. That's on you.
I was gonna say, I'd have to say most people are gonna read it within 7 days or less.
Well, I mean, what's your suggestion? It comes out once a week, once every other week? Who's gonna produce it?
Bi-monthly? I don't know.
Yeah, that's,
I don't know. And I realize that's a problem.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know, for example, other towns that produce newsletters, I'd like to know what their schedule is.
okay.
So we know because we looked and monthly is very regular, is the most normal
Most
thing.
common.
We haven't ever seen anyone do more frequent than that.
Okay,
But I will say the newsletter email list could be used for like an update in the middle of the month if there's a special announcement that we
Right.
want to come through the newsletter without it being like a full issue. Like I think we would have leeway to use it for that if we felt there was something very important for town communication that can't wait until the next issue of the newsletter.
oh, that's interesting.
Like there's no real constraints there. We have the capacity to send more emails a month. We just wouldn't want to overload everyone with expectations, the wrong expectations,
Right, like
and
if
then
there
they're getting
was
too many.
right, like if there was like a really big meeting going on or something and people should attend and know about like, Javish Brook or something, we could send out something definitely.
Or an event we didn't anticipate.
Right,
For example,
exactly.
Somebody's coming to
Yes.
town, we didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lafayette.
I think the bigger constraint would be who's gonna write it, because you're gonna learn that once a month is a lot to write, yeah.
We would hopefully
Can be.
divide it.
Yeah, well, I think we will be presenting this to you next time, but the workflow is such that the departments and committees essentially draft something that we, approve and modify, but we're not reporters, we're not going out and finding the information ourselves, we're having people transmit it to us and follow up with committees we haven't heard from in a while, things like that.
Are you using ChatGPT or Copilot or anything like that to gather information?
We haven't discussed it yet.
No, not to gather, I think
I think
information would be gathered from humans.
I think you might even run into some opposition to any editing whatsoever, right? If a statement is coming, if a piece, a couple paragraphs is coming from finance department or somewhere else, they might say like, I don't want this touched.
Absolutely. And I
Right.
think, we definitely, that's definitely on our radar. And so I think we're coming up with like a method for, like, if we have either to let people know, like, we might make the like typo level revisions, have people be okay with that. And if there's anything more significant, we would run it by them.
Yeah.
So we would be very clear with people who are submitting information, how it's gonna be.
But there are some more like the entertainment pieces that we were thinking as well, that like if there was like the car show or something was an example in the early ones, and those would be probably written by us or somebody and more free form, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could even like talk to the people at Sentinel, right? And like put some of that in there too.
Or those would be like the pieces that Ed
Yeah,
eventually
I
writes.
think there's also there's like the other things that get posted on the website, which might, come from Ed, because he's drafting them for that.
In terms of getting content from people, I think what you might find, people might be reluctant to write something that they feel is, okay, I write this, it's gonna go in the newsletter. They may feel uncomfortable, or it's gonna take too much time, or they massage it to death, versus if you just ask for bullets and
Yes,
say that we
Yeah.
will then massage this, I think people will be a lot more receptive to sending you, A6, A10 bullets that you then turn in. And that's the sort of thing you could feed into ChatGPT. Now, circle back around and say, okay, is this okay?
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we talked about setting up like a document that has like 5 questions about the department, and they could fill that right out, and then we would
Great.
make it.
Yeah. I think if you ask people to write something, some might, most won't.
Yeah.
Or the better thing is, they will say, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And then life gets in the way.
Well, my understanding too is that this is coming with Steve's support, and that Steve is
Right.
going to be the one saying, "Hey, it's your turn,"
That's
right?
Yeah, I think,
That was my
yeah,
understanding early on. I don't know if it's
for the
changed, but
department heads, yes, I
Yeah.
think he's already been.
so
in
that's
touch
gonna be
with
like a, no, you need to write this because we're publishing it,
Right.
is my
No, no, that's right.
understanding, but
Yeah, but
maybe not.
But I think, like Ed is suggesting, we haven't set up a system, but we will be for submitting stuff, because we were thinking about doing it through like a Google form or something where we can kind of grab a bunch easily and not deal with individual emails, but we could set it up so that you could either, write your blurb, or you could send us some points, and just make it very clear that both options are available and what sort of like, editing would happen, and
And-
feedback.
And I think, yeah, the other part is that tell them you'll get a chance to look at it before it goes live,
Yeah.
Right.
so that,
Yeah, because we also have to come up with a schedule for when do we need those by, like the 25th of the month, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Make sure we have time to turn it over.
And if we don't get it by a certain amount, we'll have Steve step in and stuff.
no, you make it up. You tell them if you don't submit it, you make it up.
Or you can just have this space left intentionally blank because Concom didn't put their stuff in.
Shame them.
DPW will be open 24/7 for the next 2 weeks because they did not submit an article. No.
Stop on by.
Okay. Good? Good.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the town meeting notifications.
Okay, so you probably can't see it real well. I should turn off the-
Let's see.
Go up, turn that
Yep,
up.
it's different.
hide everything. There you go. That's a statement that I sent around to you guys. And the only suggestion is who to contact for more information that you guys gave me here. Try to keep it simple, to the point, And this would go to Steve, I guess we talked about as a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'll let him pass it on.
because it's Steve's office that actually puts this all together. So,
I have a typo, it's the communication committee, not the communications.
Yes, I noticed that as well.
I do know. And actually, I mentioned that to Esther because she, on the YouTube channel, we're the communications committee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this wording plus the newly decided who to contact. I think that is plenty of information to start adding for this time around, and it shouldn't be that hard to add those extra bits.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's all information that exists. It just has to be
And
collated into the.
a simple template would do half the work.
I have a question. Do you have to be a citizen to vote in local town meeting? You have to be a citizen?
As you walk in the door, they check you out. You can still, out of town can attend.
No, I mean, do you have to be an
resident.
American citizen? I think you have to be a resident of town, but I don't think you have to be a citizen.
I do not believe they check your ID. They just check,
They check you off the voter registration list.
is it the voter registration list? Yeah.
When you walk up to the, pick up your little card.
In which case, I believe you do then have to be a citizen. Yeah.
Well, I'll make that change that we talked about, and what do we want to do? Do we need to vote on it again or look at again, or?
Yeah, I think we would vote as a committee to decide if this is what we wish to, with the amendment, if this is what we wish to send Steve's way.
Do we want to do it tonight, or do you want me to rewrite it? I'm just thinking time-wise, getting it over there.
Yeah, no, I think that, well, so the addition we're going to make is that to include the contact information of whoever submitted the warrant so that any additional questions can be asked to them. I would say that with that addition, we're good to go.
Okay, sure.
Unless there's any more discussion.
So do you want me to give it to you to send to Steve, or how do you want to do it?
Well, let's motion first and approve it. And so I motion that with said amendment, we finalize and approve this, we're calling it a letter to the town manager.
So,
All those in favor? Emily?
Aye.
Thank you. So yes, you can submit it. CC me.
Okay.
You have it. You're gonna need to make the edit. You're vice chair. Yeah.
Okay. Will do.
All right. Excellent. Oh, good. Lou has joined us. Okay. Anything else on that?
That's it.
Excellent. Belchertown.org. We have created the form for people to submit.
Yep.
Have people started submitting things?
I've gotten a few.
Excellent.
And besides getting information, that was kind of a test drive too. Chris had the one suggestion, we remove the phone number. That's
From the
fine. I
form.
just had it put in there as another way to contact somebody if we had a question. You know,
Is that a suggestion or is that what's gonna happen?
it happened. I took out the phone, I removed the phone number, requirement for a phone number. Do we want to go as the next level, sending it to town employees? To get feedback from them? And then after we do that circle, we go to the public?
You go to committees. I say get the committee's opinions on things.
So,
We haven't reached out to them in a while to see how they're doing.
so what I'm thinking is maybe start with town employees. And the reason I say that is that also gives me a chance to make sure, I mean, it's a pretty simple form, but just make sure there isn't something else that we wish we had done or asked, you know, kind of test drive it a little bit in a small group. And then we can go to committees and then we go to the public. Do it
Yeah.
in concentric circles.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that? Yeah. Okay, so I'll get with Joanne and ask her to send it to town employee, or Kate, Joanne,
Kate,
Kate.
HR versus Concom?
so send it to department heads. How will town employees get it?
I would say all town employees. If Kate can get Joanne to send, well, and Kate has the ability to do it. I would say all employees.
Okay.
That would be my vote. Because department heads adds a layer onto it, then they have to send it, they have to either do it or send it to their people to do it. Why not just send it to all town employees?
Because I was just worried that you wouldn't get department heads to respond. So in other words, my employer responds, but I don't agree with it as the department head. Then what? You're going to include it anyway. So that won't work so well. I just want to make sure that the department heads at least see what is being submitted.
Well, no, we're not, the way it's structured right now, so you're saying you expect department heads to have their employees submitted to them, they review it, and then
Not necessarily, but the way that you just described it, that's what would happen, right? So the employee would send it to you,
Right.
department head would know that it had been sent. Department head doesn't like what the employee said about changing the web, but now you're going to do it.
Well,
because
no, we're not gonna change anything.
Okay,
This is just a review of the website to identify gaps and holes. We're not gonna change anything, because each department's responsible for their web pages.
well, we'll eventually make changes based on the
We'll,
review.
we'll let them know. My thought was, we'll let them know, like, let's say conservation, just an example. Somebody says, I wish there was more blah on them. I wish there was trail maps on the website. It's like, okay, Sarah, this is what they said. They wish there were trail maps on the website. So it's up to Sarah to put that content up, not us. To me, this is just a review of the website to identify gaps. You know, I can't see us getting involved in adding more content. We leave that up to each committee and each department, not us, right? In the beginning, it was us.
well,
they're responsible for their page, is that correct? And,
The department head is responsible, right?
right, so what he's suggesting is he just sends that suggestion up to the department head, and then the department head gets to say yay or nay, they don't have to do it.
Right.
Got the suggestion, disagree, gone.
Or, great, thanks, love it, good idea, didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So along those lines, Kate has recently added the suggestion section to the website. It's a new form. It's in one of the featured images on the bottom of the page. It's also now in the footer, so that you can get to it from any page on the site. Does that, I mean, it's not advertised currently. Could be advertised, both to town, committees, public, all at once. Does that essentially do what we're looking for as well, where people can just go in? I mean, and I know that one, that is, I understand that is more towards like broad suggestions about the town and not necessarily the website, but won't we get the same sorts of requests from, or because we're specifically saying like we want suggestions about the website?
And plus too, the form asks specifically where the issue is.
Yeah.
That is, give me the URL or describe the page. Otherwise, we would have to go fishing.
Right.
For, you know,
Yeah, no, that's
where it
a
is
good
that
idea.
they're talking about. I mean, to me, Kate's is more an evergreen, general, how to make life better type
Around
thing.
town, okay.
This is very specific to the website to make it more functional for both town employees and for the public.
I think this is okay, but you know, I worry because the department head's responsible for the information that's posted on that department's website. So there should be some kind of review and approval.
Well, it's like Lou just said, they're gonna get the suggestion, and it's up to them to make that decision. You know, we're not doing anything to their pages. It's up to them to
Are you
decide.
suggesting that we need to review the department head's information that they put up on their page?
Well, I'm suggesting that if you look at the web now and you look at the kinds of information that we're getting from departments,
Okay,
we know that department heads aren't taking that responsibility seriously, right?
okay.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
I haven't been paying attention, to be honest with you, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. So they're responsible for something, but they're not executing their responsibility.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily make such a
Not-
broad statement like that.
Not all of them,
I see.
but it's certainly true of,
Well, keep in
Number of
mind too, the idea behind this review, that the website's what, 8 months old now? And for a lot of them, it's something new or it's something they didn't have to do and things like that. So it may not be something that's in their workflow of reviewing and maintaining the website. And that's what we want to help them with here. This isn't an audit, it's a review to identify gaps and areas for improvement. You know, continued pursuit of excellence sort of thing, or improvement rather. So it's not punitive in nature. It's
no, I get that. I mean, I wouldn't call asking somebody to do what their job description asks them to do punitive.
it does, their job description probably doesn't say it.
I know,
So,
point taken.
yeah, I mean, we're trying to help them. We're trying to do this in a constructive, helpful
No, I
kind
get
of
that,
way.
and so am I. I've just been responsible for lots of department heads over the years, and I know that they want a good sense of the information that is flowing to other departments, which is what you're asking for here. Okay, I mean, that's what I have to say. We should move on.
So my only suggestion, so I'm going to throw some stuff out here too, is I can see somebody having a long list of issues that they want to complain about, and this means submitting that form every single time because we're asking them to submit once for every issue you have.
Mhm.
Does it make more sense on a department or even committee level to instead send around a Google Sheet with columns that are the same as the questions that they can fill out. That way they can, if they have the same problem with the same page 3 times, they could just copy paste the page URL in there and write down the different problems that they have, right? Also, I expect we'll see a lot of issues that they're having with not necessarily the site itself, but the back end management of it, right? We're going to see complaints about, when I go to add an article, it's difficult to do X, Y, and Z because of Civic Plus's system. Does it make more sense to do that in a format that is just personally, like a Google Sheet would be really fast for me to just add in a whole bunch of issues and just go down the sheet, other than a document. But at the same time, if it's residents, I feel like having this limited, this is what you have to do form is best, even if they have to submit it multiple times.
Well, you don't have to submit multiple times. Like if it's all on the same page, put the URL in there, and then you can list all the things that need to be fixed. I mean, for that particular answer, for example, you have 2 options: short answer text, long answer text. For what needs to be fixed, I made it long answer text, kind of for that reason.
So they could just list a whole bunch of things.
If it's the communications committee page, you can list all the boom, 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 boom stuff that's, or if you want to submit each time,
Right.
you can. You can go either way. I think this is easier for a lot of people than having to go into a Google Sheet or a Google Sheet and do it. And to me, it provides consistency on how the answers are gained. And also, if somebody goes into the Google Sheet, they see every single response that was submitted and who submitted it.
Right.
I mean, not that I see confidentiality being an issue, but
No, I think.
we don't want people perusing and then editing.
Okay.
Well, then they'd be able to edit
Right.
other
Okay.
people's.
So I would suggest then we just put in some wording that says this is a long text field or something, or just say that list all of your issues within this page. Rather than submitting multiple times.
Yeah, there's also, I believe, a way with these forms to say, do you have, you can add another question, do you have another issue on a different page? If they say yes, then they get more boxes they can fill out. Like if you wanted them to be able to submit a different URL.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm not sure if you can do that in Google Forms or
Pretty
not.
sure.
I know SurveyMonkey you could.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
look too. But I also agree, I don't think the spreadsheets would work very well,
Okay.
the Google Sheets, even for non-residents. I think it just gets messy quick, even for
Gotcha.
data people, yeah.
Okay, well, so my next step will be to send it to Kate and ask her if she can route it to all town employees. And I'll include some cover verbiage with it too, saying this is just a review to help improve the website, to identify ways we can make it better for you, blah, 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 stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I would say we're looking for suggestions both on the look and feel of the site, the content, and your experience in updating content, or your experience in maintaining your own page. Because I think we definitely want to be clear that it's there's are you having issues navigating? Are you having issues with your own content and whatever? Are you having issues with the platform Civic Plus?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to beat this to death. Yes, I do. So, so some of these issues will be labor issues. I don't have enough time to do this. My boss doesn't tell me what he wants in there, or I don't.
and I think we should stay away from that.
I'm only telling you that you're going to get it.
We do.
So the question is, then what do we do about that?
We pass those on to the town manager, in my opinion, that because those are not issues concerning things that we can actually maintain within the page.
If it's employment issues, shouldn't it go to HR first?
Perhaps.
Just
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking for, I would say, technical issues with the site,
But he's saying that we will get them. right? You cast the net, you're going to catch many.
And if you don't
Fish.
want that, then you'd have to expressly say it in some way.
Okay.
We're not going to deal with your labor issues or something like that, and you have to bring them to it. You don't think so?
I honestly don't think we'll get that much of that. And my feeling is if we say that, we will get that.
And I was gonna say, one of the things I loved about your form, it was short, it was simple, it was right to the point. And, you know, it's not a legal document, we can put in caveat after caveat after caveat, and just, then you stop reading.
I personally, I don't think we'll get that much. If we do, we just refer them to Steve.
Okay.
You know? Okay, that's all I got.
Okay. Not much else with Belchertown.org. Like I said, I helped Kate. She got that submission button up so that people can find it. She wants to explore better options around advertising that and getting it in front of people so that they know that they can submit requests.
Okay.
But currently, it is just a form where you can put in, you could say which department or committee. She added all the committees down to the drop in or to the drop down there, and whatever suggestion you want to make to that specific team or organization. And then it goes and collects in a list within Civic Plus, and then she has to, whenever something new comes in for, like, say, DPW, she would contact the DPW and say, "You got this message." You know, the library, she would send it to the library. So she's maintaining that whole list and who gets the information. But I think it'd be helpful once people know about it, start getting more suggestions in. And again, these are for townwide things. These are not necessarily like, what do you like about the website? This is like, hey, Bay Road is just littered with potholes. What can we do about that? So
That's Amherst. That's Amherst.
Amherst said, absolutely, yeah.
I would not drive Bay Road, wait till April.
Yeah. It's easy to pick on Bay Road. Okay, nothing else though. So unless there's any questions or concerns, we'll move on from that topic. Wayfinding advisory group. So we had 3 people say that they can join that working group. There was a little discussion in email. I'm recusing myself from those discussions, but I'm wondering if you guys have heard anything or come to any conclusions.
Well, there was, I don't know, somehow, I'm sorry, Maud was involved in this, or she was notified of this, and she has.
Well, she's in the working group. She's the one.
Right, but
looking
I thought
for
you sent that information to Maud and asked her to make a choice. Am I wrong on that?
I told her these are the 3 people that are interested and you should reach out to them.
She hasn't.
She responded and said that we should decide among ourselves who will represent, and then I think you'd be in contact.
Oh,
So I think that's what she was thinking.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so right now, I feel like it's kind of leaning on me, and I'm more than willing to accept. But Ed was the first to leap to the plate, and he hasn't announced his decision yet.
No, I said if nobody else wanted it.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So not Ed.
no, I mean, like I said, if nobody wants it, I'm willing, but if somebody else
I mean, you've
wants
got
it.
so much on your plate that I don't know how you survive. Anyway. So and because I'm only doing little right now, I'm not deeply involved in the newsletter and learning brand new software and things, I thought I would step up.
Thanks, Lou.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So it will be Lou.
So are you gonna let Maud know that it's Lou, or is Lou gonna?
I would like Chris to do it
Okay.
as a chair, let her notify her that, yeah. I want a seal. I want a little red ribbon.
You get exactly what the rest of us get.
Okay. Emergency communication team.
Actually, this topic kind of probably fell under Belchertown.org. Well, nothing has happened on forming the team yet. I just haven't had a chance to do that. Because I told Kate I would write something up on that. But tomorrow we are having a meeting. We had a meeting last week with Civic Plus to look at the mass communications module that they offer through the website. And we were extremely impressed with it. It's Kevin, Kate and I. This thing is great with you post one message and it can get sent out to social media, text, email, voice, puts a banner on the website. It can do it in 25 spoken languages, 65 written languages. You can geofence an area of town and say you want it just to go to those people in that part of town. It has the capability of what they call iPause, which is like an Amber Alert. Everybody's cell phone goes off in town. It would have the ability to do that as well, but the person doing that has to be iPause certified. It can't be just anybody with that ability. You can do all of this from a laptop, desktop, or an app. It's a pretty powerful. And the best thing is, it's cheaper than Code Red that we have right now. So Kate, Kevin, and I we like it. We love it. We're having another call tomorrow internally in town with like police, fire, rec, DPW, all the players here in town to go over it and say, do we want to do this or not? If we do, it would take place in July. So we have a little bit of time to get ramped up to do it. I quite honestly don't see a reason why we don't do it. I think it's a nice add-on. So more to come.
Cool. Saving money.
Saving money.
Big point.
Well, saving money and getting more functionality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No brainer. Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Cool. Public comment. I don't think we have any. We were all in the paper. That's one. I still haven't read it, but we're all in there.
Did anybody read all of it?
Mhm.
And was it factual?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. It was just it was essentially a recap of the meeting. It was really what it was.
So Emily, the writer of the article, reached out to me just to get people's names.
Okay.
And identify. We pulled up the BCTV footage of it, and she asked, okay, this person here, who's that, and this person here, who's that. So we went. Now she knows who people are in the committee, or non-ex officios, and was able to identify people because she's relatively new to the Sentinel, but her beat is sort of town meetings, and like that's what she's going to start doing is start reporting on, picks a committee and just writes about them 1 week and then picks another one the next week and tries to get the select board in every week. So and she said if we have anything important coming up, I've got her contact information, so we could just text her, let her know, hey, we got this meeting, we're going to be discussing this issue, you should tune in. So yeah, it just far more proactive, I think, than we've seen historically from the Sentinel, which is great. So
Something's happening at the Sentinel. I don't know if you've noticed, they're printing on different paper and bigger paper.
Yes.
So it's better quality.
Yep.
They hired this reporter that you talked to, so there must be changes going on at the Sentinel that they're upping their game. They are no longer publishing, though, the police log,
Oh, really?
which bums me out because that was the best part of the paper,
Yeah.
was the police log.
I also really like the police log.
What would a scanner cost you?
Yeah, but it's all summarized for me right there. So I don't know if that's just a temporary thing or what, but I love reading the police log.
you always complain. Contact them. Yeah.
No, suggest.
Suggest. Yeah.
Suggest.
Yeah. I'd like to think that it's because we keep mentioning them in our meetings that they're like, well, we got to do better. Anyway, that is public comment. Additional items for discussion. I do not believe there are any topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair. Committee member announcements and informal topics. Anybody got anything going? Yeah, right.
I just have, it's a really random small thing.
No, this is great.
Fit in here. I am pretty sure, I was gonna ask Esther, but I know she couldn't be here tonight. I emailed her and I'm pretty sure it bounced, but I didn't realize it bounced because the bounce got caught in my spam, and this is like postmaster@belchertown.org got caught in my spam.
I have the email address, I'll give it to you.
No, I have her email address, but it said it thought it wasn't an active email address, and so I'm gonna let Kate and Kevin know, because this seems like, I mean, I hope it's just me, but if it's more than me, I'm worried that things are bouncing from the town.
This happens with every brand new employee
Oh, really? Okay.
that we have interacted with, whether it was Lisa Lazard or Kate or others, that there is like a toggle within the email settings that says like allow external emails, right? And they,
So maybe it's that.
yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely follow up with them.
Okay. Anything else? All right, deliberate next meeting time. So if you don't mind pulling that up and do you want to just share it to the screen so Emily can see it? So we got the results from the little poll that we were doing. And it definitely looks like, give me a second while I expand this.
I'm gonna blow it up on my end too.
Friday night.
So, yeah, so it definitely looks like, ooh, it's very big now. I want to go back a little bit because it shows over here. It's going to show who said what. So, yeah, Friday night looks like the best time, but I think you, Alyssa, said you couldn't make Friday nights. Like not at all.
I can try. I can definitely try.
Okay. I mean that's like that's the 5 out of 6 that popped up. Although, what 6 does that mean?
6 out of 7.
6 out of 7. Okay, so somebody else has recently updated. Earlier I was looking at it. It was 5 out of 6. I don't think is Esther's name on this.
No, it is
She
not.
is. I just realized she hasn't replied to this. That would be the best time. I think what Thursday morning might be the next best.
Yeah.
But you guys can't do that, and Ed can't do that, and Emily can't do that.
Well,
Anybody's,
like I told you in my email, daytimes, yes, I can do that. I just picked night times because we went down that road of doing stuff during the day and it was problematic for so many people.
Yeah.
You know,
also, if you want the public to attend,
Evenings are typically
evenings
better.
are the way
Yeah.
to go.
Okay, I think we can commit to that.
I can try Friday.
Sundays, I think I said yes, but on the way out, I was mentioning this to my wife, and she said absolutely not Sundays. So,
well, that's kind of my feeling too. You know, definitely not a Saturday. I prefer not a Sunday, you know.
yeah, I didn't consider that we have little kids that need to have their bags packed and things like that for the start of the school day the next day. So, so I think we're looking at like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
I can
nights.
try Friday. I can try
You can try Friday, because if you could try Friday, you like the. I hate to say this,
No,
you're the one holding up. Yeah.
No, I can definitely try Friday.
Okay, and that's
I'll email you.
okay. So
you're suggesting 6 o'clock, I see from here. Is that what you're suggesting?
do we all? It sounds like 6 o'clock works for everybody.
Home, got a little food in you?
You'd rather do 7? If you can give us a good to go with a 7,
Okay.
then I think everybody else would be okay with that. 7 o'clock Friday.
Next Friday?
No, it would be. I mean, this is like we're gonna do Fridays instead of Thursdays from now on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the 14th.
Okay.
And then 28th.
Yeah. So whatever you guys are submitting for the newsletter needs to be already submitted because it needs to be 72 hours before. So you have to submit by the 12th, I believe, for your newsletter, the 11th or the 12th. And so whatever you'd be presenting to us is what you've submitted to present to the board, just so you know.
So it's yeah, so I'm not sure, I wasn't clear on what the rules are. So it's not okay to come with a presentation that you didn't receive 48 hours before or whatever it is, 72 hours? Like if we were to present, do we need to share our presentation in advance?
No. They don't.
with you.
No, oh, no, well, any, like if you were gonna give them a document beforehand for
Wait a
them
minute, wait a
to
minute,
have.
you're talking about us or the select?
No, I'm talking about the select board.
Oh.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is that our meeting, if our meeting's on the 14th, that's less than 24 hours working days
I see.
before the
I see
select
what you mean.
board
Yeah.
meeting. So whatever you present to us will be already submitted
Gotcha,
for discussion to the select board.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so do they need to submit their presentation and documentation?
I
Or do
believe
they just need to get on the agenda?
you,
I haven't been to a select board meeting in ages, but it used to be, you were gonna do a PowerPoint presentation. They knew that and you just presented it when you walked through the door.
right. Yeah.
I think that's the way it is.
We've previously handed them documents and said that please review this because we're gonna discuss it.
Gotcha.
But I think if you're planning a presentation, then yeah, you just
Okay.
walk in.
Okay, great. If we have documents, we'll make sure we do that in advance.
Yes, yeah.
You just need to make sure you're on the agenda.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, yeah.
Steve and me,
Then you can talk about whatever you want.
Okay,
Yeah.
are we canceling our 4th meeting for the 4th, March 4th, that you were just putting up?
I don't believe we had one for the 4th.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw something, but,
No,
okay.
We tentatively had one for the 5th.
Oh, right,
Oh, no, sorry, no, never mind, that's something else. Never mind.
okay.
My bad.
Actually, a branding meeting, is that what we're talking about?
no.
No.
I think I mentioned there's a branding meeting on the 5th. Which is why we haven't had a branding meeting,
That's
so I
it.
didn't,
My
yeah,
bad.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so we were saying the 14th, not the 13th,
Possibly the 28th.
and possibly the 28th. Well, that would be we're moving those. I do not know which room yet because we haven't gone through the town manager's office to figure out if this room is available. So
I suspect we're gonna get our pick of any room we want on a Friday night.
Friday night, possibly.
Yep.
So I will email everybody about that to figure out which room we're going to be in. But yes, it sounds like Friday's good to go. Friday,
Emily, is that good for you?
I'll clear with you.
Yeah.
excellent.
So 7 PM.
Friday, 7 p.m. Location TBD.
Okay.
Cool. I'll email out everybody, including Kate and Esther, let them know that that's what we're hoping for. Hopefully Esther is good with that because she's the only one that didn't reply to us. All right. And with that, it is 8:27 and I motion to adjourn.
So move.
All those in favor?
Bye.
Emily? Excellent. That's that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You.
Quick, efficient. Yeah.
Quickie.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.